So good morning, coming to you live from the gym in Sunland Park, New Mexico. This is the 343 commitment and still counting. 110 floors for our brother, firefighter Gregory Saucedo, who was 31 years old on his response to 9/11. 10 years on the department, and he was assigned to Ladder 5, Greenwich's Village, Phoenix, out of Manhattan, housed there with Engine 24 and Battalion 2. So, as with yesterday, with firefighter Centauri, the most senior man on the job with Ladder 5, this is our brother Gregory Saucedo's trip up to the symbolic 110th floor. So we're just about to kick this off with dedication to his three brothers, Stephen, who's on the job with the FDNY, Christopher, and Paul. So right now, we're taking our brother to the 110th floor. Total of 7 verticals to get us there. After the 7th vertical, reaches the 101st floor, and it's 9 floors till we reach the top. So our brother Gregory Saucedo from Ladder 5 actually got a teaching degree from Brooklyn College. Prior to joining the FDNY, he was given an opportunity to become a teacher. At the same time, his opportunity to the FDNY opened up, and our brother took it. His initial engine was in Brooklyn, that he worked for, it said, for approximately 9 years. And bear with me if I get it wrong. It's either 231 or 321, which everything's by memory, so my apologies, but I know it's charge again, housed with Foam 87 in Brooklyn. So he did his main tour with them prior to going over to Ladder 5. The Greenwich Village, Phoenix. Our brother was extremely physically fit, and he was an avid runner. He was the self-proclaimed bench press champion of Ladder 5. On 9/11, Ladder 5 was involved in the rescue effort, where due to the bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown, upwards of 25,000 were saved. For Gregory Saucedo, he was working with Lieutenant Benny Giamona also on that day. They were in Tower 1, the last place team, between the 37th and 40th floor, performing CPR on someone and attempting to bring somebody down in a wheelchair. It's unknown exactly the highest floor that they achieved, but our brother put his running skills to the test, running up the stairwell along with Lieutenant Giamona, working together. It will never be forgotten. Our brother Gregory, and his three other brothers, Stephen, who was an electrician prior to joining the FDNY, and Christopher and Paul. They lost their parents at a young age, and they were each other's support structure. His brother Christopher said that Greg was just a big goofy kid. He had like 3 or 4 best friends, and from what I read, he was going to be Stephen's best man at his wedding. Stephen was said to have been on ladder 13 normally, but he was in Brooklyn on 9/11. His brother Stephen went to the pile looking for Greg. I promise you, brothers, Greg will never be forgotten. One thing I did notice in the reading was that our brother was known to have a gregarious personality, very strong in what he did. As I said before, he was a self-proclaimed bench press champion there at ladder 5. On his muscular arm, our brother had a tattoo of a gnarly looking oak tree with 4 branches, with the cousins being strength and devotion to his brothers. Right now, this climb is to take him to the very top. This is now the 4th climb of this commitment on this ship. Pushing him up. Now down to 47 brothers left to carry on this 296th climb of the initial 343 commitment, prior to starting to take up the Ansel counting. Those that work the pile for days, weeks, and months until the recovery mission was declared complete. Those who succumbed to 9/11 cancers and illnesses, they will never be forgotten. And God willing, they will start being carried. This is why we climb, to tell their stories so their brothers and family, the FDNY, and our country will know that 19 years ago, we took a commitment. We made a promise that we would never forget, but we would always remember the sacrifices it made, both on and after 9/11, 2001. We will ensure that our brothers will not just become a name on a plaque or a picture on a wall. This is why we climb, to keep them alive. For his brother Stephen, who's on the job with the FDNY, was an electrician before and then joined the FDNY. For him to know that his brother's sacrifice will never be forgotten. For Christopher, who was I believe he was a professor of sculpture out of New Orleans, and his brother Paul. He will never be forgotten. This is why we climb across the United States and across the world, to keep their stories alive. For our brother, who along with Lieutenant Vinny Giamona made it all the way upwards to close to the 40th floor, last seen performing CPR on someone in the stairwell and bringing somebody down in a wheelchair. Our brothers gave everything they had. The greatest rescue effort on the U.S. history, where upwards of 25,000 were saved. They will never be forgotten. Pushing them all the way up to the very top. For our brother, who's 31, with 10 years on with the FDNY. Initially in Brooklyn with charging in, prior to moving to Manhattan with the Greenwich Village Phoenix. Ladder 5, housed with 24 Battalion 2. Taking them all the way, symbolically, to the top of the towers. This is why we climb. For our brother, who was all about strength and devotion to his brothers, Stephen, Christopher, and Paul, after they lost their parents when they were younger. The brothers stuck together. As I said before, Gregory, on his muscular arm, had an oak tree that had 4 branches coming off of it for his brothers. Taking them all the way, symbolically, for our brother to reach that top, to the 110th floor. Go with me now. The Phoenix rises again, this time for firefighter Gregory Saucedo. Taking him up with honor and respect for the sacrifices made so that others could live. Taking him one floor at a time. This next vertical will push us over the halfway point. For our brother, Greg Saucedo, a very good, excellent physical shape, and an avid runner, which our brother and Lieutenant Vinny Giamona, both from the Phoenix, worked together through 9/11, taking them all the way. They ran in the stairwell to get up to the 37th to around the 40th floor. Last being seen doing CPR and attempting to rescue a person in a wheelchair. They will never be forgotten. This is why we climb. Taking our brothers to the very top. Going there with honor and respect. So as I said at the beginning, a total of 7 verticals. We're over the halfway mark now. We have the last 3 verticals for our brother, Greenwich Village Phoenix. Ladder 5. Firefighter Gregory Saucedo. Taking him up. Finishing his footsteps from around the 37th floor to the 40th floor of the first tower. Taking him up. Putting in the footwork for our brother, symbolically to be carried. This is why we climb. To tell their stories. For his brothers, Stephen with the FDNY, and Christopher and Paul. He will never be forgotten. This is why we climb. For his brother Stephen, who worked the pile for weeks. Your brother will always be remembered. Firefighter Gregory Saucedo, who didn't have any problem telling a person what he thought of you. I read a story that he marched in the St. Patty's Day parade and basically was able to tell a guy like you, and don't like you. So he had no problem letting you figure out if he liked you. Our brother was a very social person, physically fit, and an average runner. He was a self-proclaimed bench press champion of Ladder 5. Extremely fit from everything I read. Taking him up. Third and last vertical for our brother. The 296th time we've gone vertical. Down to 47 brothers yet to be carried on completion of this 110 floors, given in honor and respect. Coming to you live from the gym in Southern Park, New Mexico. This is the 343 commitment and still counting. 110 floor memorial climb for our brother, Firefighter Gregory Saucedo. Manhattan's Greenwich Village, Phoenix, Ladder 5. Going towards 440 floors since beginning this tour. For our brother, we tell his story so others know. 19 years later, we have not forgotten the sacrifices that were made on 9/11 and the rescue effort, and after on Ground Zero and the recovery effort for those who worked the piles for days, weeks, and months until the recovery operation was declared complete. They will never be forgotten. This is the reason we tell their stories, so the next generation and those that follow will always know that we are not just forgetting, we are not just moving on. 9/11 happened, and it will never be forgotten. The worst terrorist attack occurred on U.S. soil, where due to the valor, bravery, and heroism shown by all who responded. Upwards of 25,000 innocent lives were saved. Right now, coming up on that second to last of the verticals for our brother right here, firefighter Gregory Saucedo. Taking him up. Second to last vertical on this fourth trip up the tower since my 96 started on Friday. This one's a little bit rougher, I'll be honest. Going towards that next vertical, but we're going. Ain't stopping until we get to the top. For our brother, who along with Lieutenant Vinny Giamona raced the stairwell and made it to between the 37th and 40th floor. Last being seen performing CPR and attempting to take somebody down in a wheelchair. We must never forget what happened and what carried on with the recovery effort. Those who worked the pile at ground zero, never forgotten. This is why we climb. To finish their footsteps, to tell their stories, not only here on this climber, but at 9/11 memorial climbs and memorial runs all over the US. So our brothers never just become a name on a plaque or picture on a wall. Dedicating this to his brothers, Stephen with the FDNY, his brothers Christopher and Paul. Dedicating this to the FDNY off and on the line, Manhattan's Greenwich Village, the Phoenix, housed the Digit 24 Battalion 2. Taking him all the way to the very top. For our brother, who was extremely physically fit, for his brother Christopher, he was a big old kid. Had about 4 to 5 friends that were best friends. Our brother and Stephen were inseparable. It said that Stephen walked all the way to the firehouse in Brooklyn, hoping against hope to see his brother Gregory there. He will never be forgotten. And now we're just about to hit that last vertical for our brother, firefighter Gregory Saucedo. Last vertical. Going all the way to that 101st floor on this vertical to tell his story, to keep our brother's memory alive. He will never be forgotten. The bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown in the greatest rescue effort in U.S. history will always be remembered and never forgotten. And no matter how much our country wants to put it behind, and I remember, it's left to us to never forget. So their families, the FDNY, and our country know we've kept our promise that was made on 9/11, that we would never forget. And we're keeping that promise. This is why we climb. This is why the 343 commitment, and still counting, 110 floor Memorial Star climbs exist. To keep our brothers' memories alive and to tell their stories. The last vertical completed. For our brother, the self-proclaimed bench press champion at ladder 5, Greenwich Villages, the Phoenix. He is symbolically about to reach the top. 97 brothers left to be carried. Correction. I'm way off. 47 brothers left to be carried, because this is the 296th climb. Bear with me. This is going to be my 440th floor since the beginning of this tour. Pushing him all the way to the very top. Going there with honor and respect. Are these last 4 floors. Taking him up to finish his journey from around the 37th and 40th floor, where he went up with Lieutenant Vinny Giamona off the Phoenix. I was seen rescuing others in the stairwells. Our brothers raced up that stairwell using their physical fitness and agility to get there. Last being seen performing CPR in the stairwell. I'm bringing somebody down in a wheelchair, pushing him to the very top with absolute honor and respect for the sacrifices that were made on and after 9/11, 2001. My brother was 31 with 10 years on the job. We're almost there. Going to the very top. And we are completed. Brother, Firefighter Gregory Saucedo, rest easy. We got it from here. In the spirit of remembrance, Oklahoma City, 1995. You won't be forgotten.